It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the... Well, hello there, class, and welcome to the Fab Lab. In this video, we're going to talk about safety and expectations in the Fab Lab. I'm in the basement, where the Fab Lab actually is. However, we won't be spending a lot of time here during the first part of the year. But I still expect you to know how to behave and be safe in the lab when we do come down here later on in the year. So come with me as we learn exactly how to be safe in the Fab Lab. In the Fab Lab, we need you to make sure that you maintain your sight and your hearing. We use a lot of dangerous and loud equipment. And if you went home with less than 100% of yourself, I'd have less than 100% of a job. Also, you'd be hurt, and I don't want that, because I care about you. But also, I don't want to get fired because you chopped off a finger or lost an eye or went deaf. So, you know, save yourself, save me, we work together. What can you do to stop from losing your sight, hearing, other body parts? Well, anytime you're in the lab and machines are running and you'd like to lessen the noise, you'll have access to these lovely headphones. They are sanitized after each use with paws wipes. If you would prefer, I can also give you a personal pair of foam earplugs. You will only be given one pair, and they will be yours to keep and cleanse and have on hand should you need them again. But what about protecting your eyes? Here in the Lawton Childs Middle Academy Fab Lab, you'll have access to state-of-the-art safety goggles. They come in two types. These magnificent hater blockers that can be worn over traditional eyeglasses, or a more streamlined pair that just slips right on your face. These two are sanitized with paws wipes between uses, so you know they're clean and you are extra safe. Other than wearing safety goggles and earmuffs to protect your sight and hearing, you'll also need to take some special steps to protect your hair and body. If you've got longer hair, you'll need to put that back in a ponytail and double it up in a bun. May not be attractive and you may not like it, but that is how you will keep your hair on your body. Your lanyard is a dangling caution when we are using some of these advanced maneuvering machines. So you can either tuck it inside of your shirt or take it off, put it in your pocket with every part fully tucked away. Before you leave the lab and return to the school environment, you will put it back on. Any loose bits of clothing will need to be tucked. If you've got a shirt on that's loose, you'll need to make sure that it is tucked in. If you have a hoodie or a jacket, you'll either need to wrap it tightly around your waist or leave it back at your seat. In the Fab Lab, we use a lot of very cool and exciting machines that can generate quite a bit of heat. The 3D printer can get up to 220 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to cook a steak and burn a steak and sear your flesh. But several of our other machines can also create a lot of heat. The ShopBot, for example, can rotate its spindle up to 200 rotations per second, which is enough to light sawdust on fire. And if you're cutting wood, there's gonna be sawdust. The laser cutter uses a literal laser to cut things. Lasers are very hot and burn materials like cardboard or wood or acrylic. Sometimes when they're burned, they catch on fire. So in the event of a fire, step 1, tell Mr. Lott. Step 2, you'll need to locate a fire extinguisher. We have 2 of them. One by the door where I hung my mask. The other stays by the ShopBot. In my time here in the Fab Lab, we've not needed a fire extinguisher, and if we're doing things right, we never will. Speaking of the ShopBot, this is the emergency stop mechanism for the chassis or body, and this is the emergency stop mechanism for the spindle or cutting arm. You'll use either of these in the event of an emergency where we need to immediately stop the ShopBot. They're located over here by the ShopBot mechanism box and spindle operations box. And these will only ever be used in the event of an emergency. If you touch this button while the machine is running to stop it as a joke, you will be kicked out of my class. Period. The Fab Lab has 2 exits. One is the main door you come in. This is the door we'll enter and exit through whenever we're using the lab for classroom purposes. This door in the back of the room leads to the stairwell that comes down from the Learning Commons. The doorway at the top of this stairwell here goes directly outside into the courtyard. We'll only use this door in the event of an emergency or a safety drill while we are in the lab. While you're in the lab, you're going to have access to some really great equipment. But before you can use any of that equipment, you're going to need to get a 100% on each safety exam. Those are grades. More importantly, they are to ensure that you will be safe and can show me you know how to use those machines safely. While you're in the lab, I need you to remember 4 simple rules. 1. Do not use any machines you're untrained on. And do not do anything you're uncertain about. If you have questions, ask them. Also, the chairs in here have wheels, but do not roll. Oh God! That's why we don't roll. It hurts so bad. When you're in the lab, make sure you're always thinking about how to be safe, how to use the equipment safely, so that you can create without hurting yourself or others, or damaging the machines. Oh, I need to go to the clinic. If anything's ever missing from the lab, or anything's ever broken, or something feels off, or someone's doing anything unsafe, report that to me. Come to me with any questions. Sometimes I might seem frustrated because I'm already aware the 3D printer's broken, but maybe no one else told me. So if something's broken, something's off, something's missing, or someone's being not smart, come let me know. Using all this equipment can make quite a mess. So always make sure you clean up after yourself. Well, that's it for our lab's basics and safety introductions. Now you should have a basic idea of how to be safe and what's expected of you in the Fab Lab. There is going to be a test on this, and guess what score you need to get to move on to the next part of the course. I'll see you back in the classroom, and I look forward to when we can come into the lab and get you making the future. I can't wait to help you make the imagined real. See you out there.